Hi
Hello.
everyone,
I'm Akhil
I'm Maya and we are Harry Tinkers.
and welcome to our channel.
So today's episode is about Bali and we have received some of your queries.
We have actually jotted down a couple of questions that we have actually received from most of the folks.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for these questions. We have almost covered most of the things that you would have to do when you go to Bali, and what are the things that you would have to do, what are the things that you would have to be careful about, and how much is the expense that we spend in Bali, where that you can stay, and things like that. So I'm not going to say the entire thing over here, but we would be discussing about that in the moving
Coming videos.
So the question number one is, why did we choose Bali? Actually, I did not get a chance to decide for our honeymoon where are we supposed to go. Everything was decided by her. So
Yeah, only the destination was decided by me because I always fantasized about Bali, Bali, swing, food from Bali. And of course, Instagram was a big influence to choose the destination for
Exactly.
our honeymoon.
Yep.
Poor him, he did not even have a chance to give his point of view on the destination which we would
yeah,
choose.
but I would definitely say I would have to thank her for choosing Bali, because it's been one of the amazing places that I can keep it to my heart, especially because I'm a foodie. Yeah, we both are foodie, but especially it's just I was so amazed with the smoothie bowls that you get over there. Wow, juices are coming out of my mouth right now. It was so good, so yum. Really beautiful weather, I would say. It was pleasant, and it was a lot of lush green.
Yes.
Lush green, good air.
Fresh air.
Yeah,
We
fresh.
always crave for fresh air because we usually don't get that in India.
Moving forward, we will be telling you
More
what are
about-
the things that we have experienced, the pros and cons as well. Also the places that you want to actually stay and experience of actual Bali instead of the more commercialized places in Bali as well.
Everything
What?
will be covered in our videos, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
So Bali is fantasized to be the tropical paradise for the newlywed couple, and we also had lot of expectation, and I must say that we were awestruck by the beauty what Bali has to offer.
How did we travel? Of course, we travel by flight. My sister actually stays in Singapore, so I have not visited her in a quite some time. So we basically traveled from Bangalore to Singapore by Indigo, and then from there we took Jetstar. I believe it's Jetstar. Right?
Yeah, it's just
Jetstar, and then from Jetstar we went to Denpasar, which is the Bali's airport. And while coming back, we actually came by Thai Airways. It was a good experience in Thai Airways. Good food, I would say.
Jetstar was
Yeah, it was. The food
the
was.
food was pathetic.
It was frozen, so if by any chance, yeah, it's a low cost airways.
If you get cold food, please tell them to heat it up. Even if they don't heat it up, tell them again to reheat it.
My wife is a vegetarian, so
Yeah.
if you're a vegetarian, it's going to be really difficult because you probably will not get it. And even if you get it, it's going to be completely frozen. And they actually give you the frozen food just like that. So
Yeah.
that's the experience that we had. So it was not a good experience with with Jetstar. But
On
rest
the
all the
contrary, Thai Airways was really good.
travel, yummy
The
food.
service, the food, the travel, everything was very, very comfortable.
Yeah.
And the staff was also very, very kind.
Yeah, it was really nice experience that we had. Yeah. And of course, Indigo, we don't have a
Indigo, we know how it
problem. Yeah. So another question that somebody has asked is, what was the time duration that we took? So as we mentioned earlier, we actually went through Singapore.
Yeah.
So you also have direct flights, or you have flights from Bangalore to Thailand, and from Thailand to Denpasar. I don't think that you do have a direct flight. If that is there, it would
would
generally
be-
be a connecting
Yeah.
one. but you probably would have to sit in the flight itself, and then you move to Denpasar. Right? Yeah.
So from Bangalore to Singapore, we took 4 hours. And then from Singapore to Bali, we took 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it was around like 2 hours 40 minutes is what they mentioned, but
we reached quite fast.
Quite fast.
Denpasar to Bangalore, we took about 8 hours.
So that includes actually a layover in Bangkok. So since it was Thai Airways, so it had a layover over there, and then we had to catch a different flight of Thai Airways itself, and then we came back to
Bangalore.
But the service was actually fast and things were actually good. So it just took around 8 hours for us to reach.
Back.
But you have to be extremely careful. The time zone difference actually confuses you a lot. So you would have to be extremely careful.
And also in Bangkok, there are too many tourists. So the line would be really long, and you have to rush to your next flight. Do not hang around to the shops which are nearby because they're very, very tempting.
Yeah. The thing is, you would not get time, and it's not like India that they might get, they might give you an extra chance to do. No. It's you have to be extremely careful.
And the queue is really long.
Yeah.
When we mean it's long, it is long.
It is long, yeah. It was extremely long. For us, we were actually tense that we were gonna miss our flight. But the good thing is, like, since it was Thai Airways, from Thai Airways to Thai Airways, there were a lot of people from Bangkok to come down to Bangalore, due to which it was fine. But we actually reached around like 10 minutes just before the flight was actually starting. We actually reached an hour back. So landed, and then we were inside the airport, and then we reached an hour back. We still had an hour. But still, just imagine we were stuck in the line for close to around 40-50 minutes, and we had to literally rush, including all the the bypass and everything that we need to do. We have to find the gates and then run everywhere and then finish it up. So it was rush. It is a good experience as well.
So basically, I couldn't shop anything because we were rushing and running. Next time, come. What is the currency of Indonesia? So it is called the Indonesian rupiah.
But you have to be extremely careful because it's one of the most confusing currency that you can see, because they have an additional extra 3 zeros that's been added to their note. If it is written, it's 1,000 rupiah. It just means that it's 1 Indonesian rupiahs, but the note would be written as
1,000 Indonesian rupiah. So please don't get confused. Just eliminate those 3 zeros while you are calculating something.
Mentally calculating it, because when you don't calculate it, you feel like you're spending so much. So
everything is in 2 lakhs, 200,000, 600,000. 100,000, so you would feel that you're spending so much when you are not at all spending so much.
And the best thing is, once you reach Bali, you would feel like you're a millionaire, because when you take the cash from ATM, you're like, oh my god.
Please go to the ATM and check your bank balance. You would really feel good. Even if you're not a millionaire, you would feel like a millionaire.
So the next question is, what about the climatic condition, or what's the weather condition in Bali?
So Bali is a tropical place, so you can expect a very hot and humid climate over there all throughout the year. It rains sometimes, but still it is hot.
Yeah. So it is. I wouldn't say it's dry. You have. I know it's water. It's coastal everywhere, so you can actually understand. There would be heat, humidity that would be there. We actually took most of the public transport. So when we say public transport, it's basically the cabs that we took. So we have
Gojek and Grab both.
Exactly. So an important thing that you would have to think about before you going there, please download these two apps. Because Uber and whatever the other apps that we use in India
doesn't work.
Doesn't work over there. So Gojek is something which is there. So probably you can use that. What was the other one?
Gojek and Grab.
So see on both of them, see how the price is, and I would say it's a reasonable price. I wouldn't say it's not.
Both are similar.
Almost reasonable price, but Gojek, I feel you get more cabs.
So most of our commute was done by bike. because we felt comfortable riding the bike.
Yeah, so this is basically from the hotel and the nearby places wherever that we want to go.
Yeah.
But from airport or to the airport and things like that, we have actually took the taxi because that was more comfortable for us because the place that we stayed was actually Ubud, the first place that we stayed. So Kuta is where the airport is. So from there you would have to go to Ubud, which takes a longer time.
Yeah.
So it's feasible with all the luggage and everything. It was actually feasible for us to
go by taxi.
So mostly we actually took bikes from the hotel that we stayed. So the first place that we stayed was in Ubud, so that was a homestay. They also had bikes available, so we took it, and it was actually a very reasonable price. Because we have actually checked in other locations as well,
It was expensive.
Yeah, it was expensive. So generally what people say is like in online, if you Google it and things like that, they say that it's better to go ahead and book in advance.
Yeah.
I would suggest not to because it's always better to go there when
and then check it.
Exactly. So when you're there in that place, you would know what exactly the price. Another question that would ask is, so say for example, if I don't know how to ride, Gojek and Grab, I believe, also has bikes that's available. What they do is like they actually pick you from the place.
Yeah.
So you can actually sit aram se, and then you can actually enjoy the place. So if you have a GoPro or something, or if you have a camera or something, you just put it and then roam around the place, and they will actually show you beautiful places and things like that. So that's one thing that you need to understand, because these folks are actually local, so they know more places than ours, or what exactly that shows up in Google and things like that. Because see, the places that shows up in when you Google it around, it's a more commercialized places. But always better to ask these folks that do you know certain places that we can actually visit and then understand. So they would actually give you suggestions and stuff like that.
And also there is a lot of fraud happening with the people who are getting bikes, because they don't have proper license and all those things. In that point, we'll talk about license. What kind of driving license do you need to drive over there? So we used our Indian license to drive over there, and we did not face any particular issue regarding that. But some people say that if the police has caught you, then it might be a problem. For us, it was not a problem.
You see a lot of foreigners. The expectation is, probably you can actually get, the police can actually catch you. Yeah, that's
totally depends on your situation.
Yeah.
For us, we did not face any issues.
But that shouldn't be a problem, because what they say is generally you should have a valid license, at least 6 to 1 year. At least you should have the license showing up in your license card. So that's something which is like an
mandatory thing.
Yeah.
How to get the SIM cards?
Yeah. So I would suggest the best thing would be take it from the airport itself, because so you don't have to rush into things and stuff like that. Most probably your international roaming might not work, because I had I faced a little bit of issue with my Airtel SIM. So it was not working.
Yeah.
So what I did is like I immediately bought it from airport itself, and it was again reasonable price, because you have a lot of stores available over there. Immediately when you go out of the airport itself, you have a lot of folks who are selling these things, and these are basically pre-activated cards. So you insert it; it just takes around like a couple of seconds to show up things like that. And the best part is
they give you packages according to the days which you are staying.
Exactly.
So we took a 5 days package which costed us 250,000 Indonesian rupiah.
Yeah, and the best thing is like you actually get good amount of data in it. So
the internet speed is also good.
It is really nice.
Yeah.
The thing is like wherever that we stayed, we had Wi-Fi, so we didn't want to do much into it. The only thing that we used that was for when we were traveling across using the bike. Maya actually used it for navigation, so then I can actually ride the bike.
Yeah, and we did not face any issue regarding the data. It was really good.
Yeah, and the internet connectivity was really good. So it was nowhere we found any issues in that, or it was showing a different route and things like that. Everything was working perfectly.
Yeah.
So when we are actually discussing about navigation is when a thing stuck in my mind that how is the road condition in Bali? So if you Google around, you would see a lot of comments saying that the roads are bad, roads are not good, and the traffic is worse and things like that. So
our personal experience was the roads at some places are very bad.
Yeah, so some places you basically don't, it cannot be considered as a road. I don't know what else it can be considered as.
Yeah, probably you can see it in the video here.
Yeah. Within the city, it was actually good. That's one main point that you would have to be, as I mentioned earlier, that even though if you know riding a bike, but you're not comfortable in riding, please do not take a risk, because you never know.
It is dangerous.
Yeah, you don't have to take a risk, because that factor is there, because it's a different country altogether, right? So again, one more question that can what actually came in my mind when we are actually speaking about road and driving is, you should always keep a medical kit with you.
Very important.
Always. You never know what's going to happen. Also, water, because water is something that is a little bit expensive over there. So always carry a bottle with you. Fill the water. So you would actually you can buy
mineral water. We use mineral water only everywhere. We do not drink the local water because we do not know what is the condition of the water at that place.
Exactly.
So everybody thinks about the budget before going to a destination,
because that's important.
And we also thought about it, and it's a budget friendly trip, international trip we can call it. And it was around 60K per person, including our flight charges, our food, our accommodation, and all the adventure activities which we did over there.
Yeah, so the thing is, the major amount that we spent was only on flights. That's something that we spend more. But rest, everything inclusive of the stay, the adventurous trip that we had. We took bike, we took car, we took the food that we had, inclusive of everything. It was not coming to half the price
of the flight.
Of the flight. So flight is something which costed really a good amount for us. But if you are calculating like places like Dubai and things like that, if you're actually going there, it's going to be expensive. But compared to that, it's a very budget friendly location, and probably that's one of the reason why you see a lot of foreigners in in Bali or in Thailand, if you say you see, or in Indonesia that you say, right? So all of these countries have probably a
low cost of living.
Exactly.
Also, you can reduce the cost by traveling directly to Denpasar, because we went to Singapore and then we went to
so
Bali.
that was the extra cost that came into picture. So if you have, there are cheaper flights as well. It's just that you might take a longer time to reach.
That's all.
So for us, our aim was to make sure that whatever the time frame that we have, we need to complete. And that's the reason we mostly taken direct flights as much as possible. If you have more time frame and things like that, you don't have to think about that I only have 5 days or 4 days and things like that. You can definitely go for the longer flights which take, but that'll be cheaper. But you would actually reach a little bit late, but it'll be cheaper compared to what we have spent. So you can probably save a good amount of money over there.
Also we have one more question which is frequently asked, is how many days would you actually require to visit Bali? So we took 5 days.
And it's basically nights. 4 nights and 5 days.
And we felt it was enough to explore little bit of Bali.
I wouldn't say we have covered all the places in Bali. So the 2 places that we stayed was one in Ubud,
and another one in Kuta. But we visited 3 places in total, which is Ubud, Nusa Penida and Kuta.
Exactly. So Nusa Penida we have not stayed, but we
wish we would have stayed. It's a really nice place.
Really nice place. So probably a week and a half. If you want to explore, there are other really good places in Bali as well. So if you want to explore all the places of Bali, then I would suggest 1 to 2 weeks would be a good time frame to for covering all the locations. Our suggestion would also be, like, if you want to stay in Nusa Penida, to explore the entire place, suggest you to
need 3 days. over there.
2 to 3 days to stay over there.
That arises another question, that how can we plan the itinerary of Bali? It totally depends on you, because everybody goes with different purpose to Bali. Some people wants to do party, some people are going there for adventure activities, some people are going there for a spiritual means. So it depends on where you want to go. Every person can have fun in Bali.
I think the personally what we felt, which is the best place that we would still love to go back, is Ubud.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
Kuta is more of a commercial
A party place, you know,
Yeah.
people who love parties and are night owls would
Yeah.
love Kuta.
That's what I said. So personally, we liked Ubud because we could actually see the culture of Bali in Ubud.
Yeah,
We did not find that in Kuta. It's
No.
more of commercialized place. A lot of buildings over there, a lot of pubs, a lot of different stores, beaches that you have.
yeah.
But personally, no, we did not like
Like it,
Kuta
yeah.
much because it was so much noisy. Ubud was actually really nice. So
Yeah. So what we seeked for is a relaxing honeymoon
Huh.
trip, along with a lot of adventure activities. So we both love nature, and being with nature is the first point which comes in our mind when we choose any destination. So yeah, that's why we liked Ubud more.
More.
Probably if we were party lovers, we would have liked Kuta.
Kuta, yeah, definitely.
What is the best time to visit Bali?
April to
April to October is the best time, because after that, in November and December, it starts raining over there.
what you would notice is people who are from New Zealand and Australians and people like that. They actually land in Bali in the month of October,
Yeah,
and they actually spend a good amount of time the next 2-3 months, right?
Right.
So they actually enjoy the weather or the climatic condition over there. Because, but for people like us, it's the other way around. So that's the reason why you see, even if you Google around what's the best time to visit in Bali, you would generally see April to October. So not everybody would be interested in high waves
and rainy season.
and rainy season and things like that.
So if you like less crowd or something, you can go at off season, which is from November to March.
Yeah. And if you're actually planning of budget friendly as well, yeah.
Yeah,
So there
it would
also
actually
you can
help you, because there'll be less tourists, and yeah.
you can still visit the place. I mean, there's no problem. But say for example, since it's a coastal region, you would have rain, but of course, you would not have too much, is what I feel personally, because we have also looked at the climatic conditions over there in the next 2 months, which was the month of November and December. So we didn't find too much of rainy and all of those things that we found out, but you never know. It's all global warming and things like that.
Yeah.
So you never know when the changes are coming into picture. So another question is, what's the similarities between Bali and India?
Yeah. So there are a lot of similarities. First is the climatic condition, because we also have a tropical climate, they also have a tropical climate, and I almost felt like I was in Kerala when we visited Bali because of the climate
Lush green,
and the greenery.
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
lot of fields that you can see over there, and this is actually in Ubud. So that's why we have clearly mentioned that when we went there, we actually felt like we have actually been to our hometown.
Yeah.
And so it was so refreshing, because it's really hard to find in cities like Bangalore. So it was so nice to see and explore those things. Another thing I would say is there are a lot of influence of Hinduism and Buddhism over there. So we have seen a lot of temples
And sculptures
Yeah.
which are inspired by Mahabharata and Ramayana.
But the thing is, in India, the difference, I would probably say, the difference of sculptures that we find over there is, in India, it's more of you see the beauty in those sculptures that has been put.
Yeah.
But in in Bali, that what we found out is more of an immortal being that's been shown,
Yeah.
not as a god, but like an immortal being that's been a transcendent beings that has been shown over there.
Correct.
So you have that difference that's that's been shown over there, it was really nice.
Yeah, it was different.
yeah.
We did not expect to see Ganesha in a different form,
Okay.
Arjuna in a different form. So another interesting thing which happened both in Ubud and Kuta is when we were traveling in cab.
Yeah.
All the cab drivers were big fan of Indian movies. They loved Indian movies. They loved Indian
Amitabh Bachchan,
songs.
Shah Rukh Khan.
They
So-
knew Shah Rukh
yeah.
Khan and Amitabh
And they were actually
Bachchan.
saying that, I mean, Hindi, and they were
Yeah.
actually saying the dialogues in Hindi and things like that.
Then they asked us whether we watch Indian movies. Do you know Shah Rukh Khan? Do you know Amitabh Bachchan? We were really amazed to see that, isn't it? All the cab drivers, it's not just one. And they love Indian music as well.
Yeah, true. And they actually have it on their phones. That's the best part. I mean, you go out of your own country. Maybe I'll put it in a very simple term. We might not like hearing to those music, but when we go there, when we are actually hearing those music in a different country, and that is a different inspiration that you get.
Yeah.
That yes, when we go back to our own country, we should actually love our country more than what we are doing right now. So that's the message that I can give.
So if you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel and share it to your friends if you found it informative.
And also please click on the bell icon so that you get the notification of if there are new videos coming into picture. And if you have any doubts or any questions that you want to ask, please jot it down on the comment section so
below.
that we can probably reply back to you once we see those comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So see you in the next video.